You're going to love this video. This is about subtlety in the way you play. How you start each note has a huge impact on how people hear your music and how beautiful it is and how you'll feel about it. So we're going to talk about the individual note, and then I'll show you what happens when you put them together different ways, and we're going to be talking about activation of the note. Now, when I talk, I use my tongue on T's to give you that sound. If I don't do it on T's at all, I'm very overly smooth. So if you play from the diaphragm alone, you're not using your tongue as a gate against the soft palate to release and let the air through. Then you get an over smooth sound like. That's driven by the diaphragm alone. It's not crisp. Now, if on the other hand, you use your soft palate to control each note that's released and to give it a little bit of crispness at the beginning of the note, you get a much prettier sound. Listen. Each and every note is shaped at its beginning to make it a little crisper. Listen. Verses. That's diaphragm alone. Now this is diaphragm with gate. Larynx glottis, or I'm sorry, soft palate against the tongue. It's not percussive. That's more air pressure with the tongue as a gate against the soft palate, but I don't want that effect. I don't want... I only use that very rarely when I want something super percussive in an improvisation. But when it comes to a pretty soft lyrical line, you know, there's kind of a longing and a sweetness and a gentleness in that style that's very compelling to an audience. And it's all controlled with the tongue against the soft palate to give a little teeny burst of air. But it's very gentle with the tongue. So, and I also have to be careful I don't blow too much air from the diaphragm early on, because that will make the note too strong too. So I'm controlling the airflow and using the tongue against the soft palate as the gate. And again, listen to the beauty of the tones. Verses. Those diaphragm-driven only notes are just, they're too soft in the beginning. You don't want to play like that, I don't think. Now in that case, da. I let that one go just from the diaphragm. See what happens when you mix them up. The last two were diaphragm only. So by mixing the more percussive started note with one that's the smoother diaphragm, it creates more interest. So, again, a principal characteristic of music is variation. Variation in rhythm, variation in pitch, variation in volume, variation in, microtones, all these things, the start to the note, all that creates more variation and more interest to the listener. So again, we're talking about the difference between a diaphragm-driven only note versus notes that are driven by the diaphragm with the tongue and the soft palate as a gate. When you talk, your mouth does all kinds of stuff. The tongue's doing all kinds of stuff. That's what makes speech. Otherwise, it's oh. That's all you can do without your tongue. But once that tongue gets moving, it can shape that sound. Oh, e, I, oh. Big part of the resonant chamber of this instrument. The whole oral shape called embouchure. True for oboists too and clarinet. I need you to enjoy this. Play around with it. You can move that sound in new ways. It'll make you happier, I think, and it'll make your audiences happier. And they'll go, ooh, I'm hearing something special.